Welcome to Terrifying Tales, the channel bringing you original horror stories. The Last Dancer by C.J. Knight. The students watched from the gym floor as on stage, the crown was delicately placed upon the head of Natalie Goodrum under a canopy of disco lights and helium balloons. The Eldridge High gymnasium was unrecognisable. Purple and silver streamers hung from the rafters. Flashing lights danced around the room as they bounced off the giant mirror ball hanging. All of this was punctuated by loud 80s music. Lily Ramos adjusted the satin strap of her thrifted dress, sticky with sweat and humidity from having so many people in such a small space. Lily hated three things in life: being too hot, crowds, and loud noise. The prom managed to combine those things. "Senior year, we'll regret it if we don't go," Candy told her. She always had a way of making terrible things seem like can't-miss events. Lily watched from the punch table, sipping a plastic cup of flat soda, while the golden couple, Prom Queen Natalie and her King Bryce Thompson, danced to a song Lily never heard, like they were in a music video. Natalie's blonde hair flitted perfectly as she moved. The prom crown sparkled as light hit it. No sign of perspiration on her face as her blue eyes sparkled. Her makeup professionally done, highlighting her perfect face, but subtle enough to make her eyes pop. Her black designer dress seemed to obey her every command as it moved with her perfect body. Lily didn't need a mirror to know she didn't compare. She'd borrowed her mother's makeup, done what she could with her frizzy black hair, and stood in a borrowed pink dress, a size too big for her skinny frame. Lily's eyes fell on Bryce. He was perfect in every way. She knew he would forever be out of her league, but a girl can dream. Candy swayed beside her. Lily knew her friend was fuming. She'd been on the Prom Queen ballot too. She leaned in to whisper in Lily's ear. "Did you hear?" Breath smelling like spiked punch. "They're doing it again this year. The Dead Last Dance." Lily raised an eyebrow. "What?" "You're such a newbie," Candy grinned. "Secret after prom party, out in the woods, invite only. You know, for the worthy." She used air quotes to punctuate the last word. Lily frowned. "Why the name?" Candy's smile twisted. "It's based on that old urban legend about Carrie Dell, the girl who died at prom in the 80s. Everyone thinks it was an accident, but my cousin swears it was murder. Sash around her neck, crown jammed into her skull. They say she was the last one dancing. They say the last one dancing every year since ends up seeing her dancing in her mask." Lily looked up at the mural of the Eldridge Devil, the school's red-faced mascot grinning behind silver streamers on the back wall of the gym. "Celebrating murder. Sounds stupid," she said. Candy bumped her shoulder playfully. "You'll change your mind. We're invited." Everyone knew the story of Carrie Dell, the beautiful quiet girl, too shy to show her face at the prom. She wore a mask that night with her dress, a white mask under a veil with a broken smile. The yearbook photo of Carrie in a mask often did the rounds at school. Lily found it creepy, always had. An hour later, Lily was blindfolded and shoved into a van with other students. Laughter and drunken hoots echoed in the dark. She recognised a few voices: Bryce, Natalie, Candy, and some others from the prom committee. The ride was bumpy. Lily was thankful she'd steered clear of the spiked punch, as her stomach churned with each bump and lurch of the road. After what felt like 30 minutes, the van stopped. They were let out into the cold night. The blindfolds came off. A clearing. Trees surrounded them like silent witnesses on all sides. String lights hung between poles powered by a humming generator. Lily recognised it from stories. They were at Camp Follow Creek, an abandoned summer camp. All of the cabins lined the clearing. The main hall sat at the centre. "Welcome to the dead last dance," someone announced. It was Mr. Delaney, the youngest teacher at Eldridge High. He was in his early 30s, wearing a sharp black suit. He still had a full head of brown hair and an athletic build. Still had the youthful look of someone 10 years younger, and always wore a smile. Lily noticed his smile never seemed to reach his eyes. She always felt he was a little too chummy with the senior class. "The rules are simple," he continued, standing on an overturned crate. "One of you will be chosen as the last dancer. The last dancer stays behind when the rest of us leave at dawn." Lily shifted. "What does that mean?" "It's just tradition," Candy whispered. "Spooky fun. Like prom horror cosplay." Mr. Delaney jumped down from the crate and drove his arm into the top of a vintage urn set up next to it. He pulled out a scrap of paper and held it aloft. He opened it and paused. "The last dancer is..." Another pause. "Lily Ramos." A few people clapped. Someone booed jokingly. Lily was grateful a second time she'd stayed away from the spiked punch. The party started. Someone played a Bluetooth speaker on loop. Old Madonna and Depeche Mode blared, echoing through the clearing as it bounced off the trees. Bottles of whiskey were passed around. Candy danced barefoot. Lily tried to laugh, but the fact she was going to be left behind weighed her down. Lily's eyes glanced over the group. Candy, Bryce, Natalie and Mr. Delaney. Also there, Bryce's best friend and class clown Aaron, and Natalie's prom committee dream team Jenny and Kylie. "I'm going to hit the head," Aaron declared. Mr. Delaney stood. "Does anyone else need to go? There are toilets in the main hall." Natalie stood and stared expectantly at Jenny and Kylie. "Oh, yes," Jenny said, pulling Kylie up by the arm. The girls followed Aaron toward the main hall. He said something on the walk that made them laugh. Natalie glanced over her shoulder toward Lily, still laughing. Lily felt the heat rise in her cheeks, as whatever Aaron had said was clearly about her. "Bitch," Candy muttered. Bryce smiled. Lily elbowed Candy in the ribs. "Well, she is," Candy said defensively. "It's okay," Bryce said. "I know what she's like." "Then why are you with her?" Candy asked. Lily elbowed her again. Candy stifled a grin. She was well aware of how Lily felt about Bryce. Candy continued. "Wouldn't you prefer someone like Lily, who isn't a bitch?" "Who isn't a bitch?" Natalie said, sitting down on Bryce's lap. Jenny and Kylie sat down next to Candy. "Sounds like gossip to me," Jenny said. Lily wanted the ground to swallow her. She stared down at her feet, knowing Natalie's eyes were on her. "No one," Bryce said. "How were the camp facilities, ladies?" Natalie groaned. "I'm going to need a tetanus shot." Lily chanced a quick glance up. Natalie was in full-on story mode, forgetting Lily existed. Bryce found Lily's eyes and gave her a quick wink. Mr. Delaney was standing away from the group, staring toward the main hall. "Where's Aaron?" "He probably wandered off to the woods to pee in peace," Bryce said. "For 20 minutes?" Mr. Delaney raised his eyebrow. Bryce lifted Natalie off his lap and stood. He turned toward the trees. "Hey, Aaron! Stop messing around out there and come back." Everyone waited for a response. The only sound came from the Bluetooth speaker playing a Cyndi Lauper song. "Maybe he's lost," Jenny offered. Kylie nodded in agreement. Mr. Delaney shook his head. "He's had a lot to drink. Maybe he's fallen, passed out. He threw his hands up. We have to go and find him. I'll check the main hall. The rest of you spread out, but stay within sight of each other. Check the woods." Natalie groaned. "I'm not going to ruin my dress." She turned on Bryce. "It's your fault he's here. You deal with it." Bryce opened his mouth to speak, but turned instead and stormed into the woods. "We have to help him," Lily whispered. Candy nodded. Yeah, we'll all get into trouble if he's hurt and we don't do anything about it. The last point seemed to resonate with Jenny and Kylie. You do what you like, Natalie said. I'm not going anywhere. Let's hurry and catch Bryce, Candy said, walking toward the tree line. Lily hurried to catch up. Jenny and Kylie looked away from Natalie with the guilt of a child who had disappointed a parent as they trudged toward the woods with less enthusiasm. The girls found Bryce hunched by a tree just inside the woods. What is it? Lily asked. Blood, Bryce said without turning. Is it Aaron's? Jenny asked. Kylie clutched Jenny's arm. I don't know, Bryce said, but it's fresh. He held his fingers up. Lily's stomach dropped as her eyes found the fresh red drops on the tips of Bryce's fingers. He cupped his hands around his mouth. Aaron, you out here, buddy? A blood-curdling scream carried between the trees from the camp clearing. Natalie! Bryce sprinted back toward the camp. Lily's heart was racing, not from running, but fear. She'd never heard a sound like that scream before. She and the other girls struggled to catch up to Bryce. Branches whipped at Lily's face. She forced herself forward. The trees gave way to the clearing. Bryce was just standing there. Then she saw her. Natalie. Her lifeless eyes staring back at Lily. Her body was seated on the crate, her back against the old urn. The crown no longer on her head. It was hanging from her throat. Blood poured from the wound, staining her dress. Words were written in blood above Natalie's head on the urn. The last dance is mine. What happened? Mr. Delaney said. He was out of breath. I heard the... He froze as his eyes settled on Natalie. Kylie screamed and dropped to her knees. Jenny stood in shock. We need to get the fuck out of here, Candy said. Where are the keys to the van? Aaron had them, Bryce said. He was kneeling in front of Natalie. Well, that's just great, Candy muttered. Psycho has the keys. Oh my God, Jenny screamed, the initial shock gone. We're all going to die. No, we're not, Mr. Delaney said. I'm going for help. The rest of you stay together in one of the cabins. I'll be as fast as I can. Without another word, Mr. Delaney sprinted toward the gravel road leading back to town and out of sight. Lily sat in the corner of the cabin, hands around her knees. Candy paced back and forth along the back wall. Jenny and Kylie sat huddled together on an old bunk bed. They'd shifted one of the bunk frames in front of the door to barricade it. Bryce leaned against it now, staring through the cabin window out over the camp. A Belinda Carlisle song echoed over the camp outside. How long is that speaker battery going to last? Bryce muttered. It has to be Aaron, Candy declared. He drove us here. He's the only one not here or dead. Bryce shook his head. That doesn't mean it was Aaron. You saw the blood I found. Candy laughed. Then who is it? We saw Mr. Delaney leave. The rest of us have been together. You think it's him? Maybe, Bryce said, turning away from the window. Or maybe it's some weirdo we don't know who hunts kids in the woods for fun. Candy was getting wound up. Lily knew the signs. Candy, stop. Arguing with Bryce doesn't help. He knows as much as we do. Candy's eyes softened as she turned to Lily. Okay. She put her hands up in surrender and let out a sigh. Lily remained on the dusty ground, heart hammering in her chest. She remembered her grandmother's voice from years ago. My baby sister Carrie died at the prom. They said it was an accident and buried the case, but no one could do that to themselves. Carrie Dell was her aunt, something Lily never told anyone. Lily found Candy staring at her. What is it? She asked. Lily hesitated. Carrie Dell was my aunt. Candy's face changed. Lily? Geez. Why didn't you say anything? I didn't think it mattered. They heard footsteps outside. The cabin door shifted as someone tried to open it. Let me in! Someone's out here! Mr. Delaney's voice. His panic-stricken face appeared at the cabin window. Bryce, hurry! Bryce pulled the bunk frame away from the door. Mr. Delaney screamed in pain. His face reappeared at the window. The glass cracked as his hand hit it. Blood ran down the pane. and Mr. Delaney dropped out of sight. Jenny and Kylie were screaming. "Pull the bunk back in front of the door," Candy shouted. Another face appeared at the window, one they all recognised. A smiling white mask beneath a thin veil, the mask of Carrie Dell. The window exploded in a shower of glass. Aaron's lifeless body landed with a thud on the floor at Lily's feet. Jenny and Kylie sprung up from the bunk, sprinted through the cabin door and into the night, screaming as they fled. Bryce rushed to check Aaron. His body was covered in stab wounds, his white shirt cut to ribbons and stained red. Lily felt the pull at her arms. "Get up!" Candy screamed. "We have to get out of here!" Candy ripped Lily to her feet and they sprinted from the cabin. Bryce followed behind. "Head for the road!" Bryce yelled. The masked figure walked out from behind the trees, blocking their way. Resting over one shoulder was an axe. The figure swung. Lily watched the blade come toward her face. The wind left her body as Bryce tackled her to the ground. Candy helped them both to their feet. "Head for the main building!" The trio sprinted across the campground. Bryce tripped over near Natalie's body. Candy and Lily stopped. The figure was closing in. "Keep going!" Bryce screamed. "Come on!" Candy pulled Lily by the arm. The figure swung the axe. Bryce grabbed the urn and blocked the blow. He kicked the figure in the stomach, sending him backward into the dirt. Bryce turned and scrambled. The figure ripped the crown from Natalie's corpse and drove it into the back of Bryce's leg. He screamed in pain. Lily watched on helplessly from the door of the main building. The figure drove the crown into Bryce's back. Then he picked up the axe and brought it down on Bryce's skull, silencing his screams of pain. "Lily, close the door," Candy pleaded. The masked figure pressed his foot on Bryce's back and ripped the axe free. The figure sprinted toward the main camp building. "Lily, shut the fucking door!" Lily slammed the door. Candy dragged a heavy table across the room in front of the door just as the figure slammed into it. Lily turned to survey the main building for the first time. "Candy, look." The entire building was decorated with streamers. A banner reading Prom 1985 hung on the back wall. A mirror bowl hung from the centre of the ceiling. Either side were the bodies of Jenny and Kylie hanging from sashes. Blood poured from their bodies to the wooden boards below. "Holy shit," Candy whispered. "It's her." "Who?" Lily asked. "The mask? The decorations?" "It's Carrie Dell. It's your aunt." The axe head burst through the door. It was ripped back and came through again. And again. And again. Candy's mascara ran as tears streamed down her face. Lily grabbed her by the arm. "Come on, there has to be another way out of here." The pair raced toward the back of the hall. The bang of the axe through the door continued behind them. The girls came to a kitchen area. "There," Lily pointed to the back door. The pair slammed into it together with all their weight. It didn't budge. Candy screamed in frustration and beat against the door with her fists. Lily pulled and pushed at the handle with all the strength she could muster. Still the door held. "Up there," Candy pointed to a window above the sink. "We need to find something to break it." Candy grabbed a large pot from the shelf and swung. The window shattered, littering the kitchen floor with shards of glass. Lily knew something was wrong. Her brain registered that the bang of the axe had ceased, just as Candy began scrambling through the window. "Candy, wait!" A sickening thud echoed through the kitchen. Candy's body slumped into the sink, and her head rolled to a stop at Lily's feet. The mask appeared at the window. The figure climbed in and stood in front of Lily. Blood dripped from the axe to the kitchen floor. "I never meant for you to be involved," the familiar voice said. Mr. Delaney stepped forward, removing the mask. "My mother was Carrie Dell. She was 16 when she had me. Gave me up. I didn't know until last year. Found out everything. The bullies, the lies, how they murdered her." Lily backed away. "They don't know who killed her." "No?" Mr. Delaney's face twisted into a snarl. "They crowned her, they laughed at her, forced the crown into her skull, and left her bleeding on the floor. Kids just like Bryce, Natalie, Jenny, Kylie, Aaron, and Candy. They're all the same, every year." He lifted the axe. "I don't want to kill you, Lily. Your blood. His snarl turned to agony. I have to kill you. Otherwise I won't see her. I have to be the only one left. I have to be the last dancer. He brought the axe down. Lily dove forward. The axe hit the floor. Lily grabbed a shard of glass and drove it into Mr. Delaney's leg. He screamed. The axe hit the ground with a thud as he clutched his leg and fell. Lily picked up the axe. Mr. Delaney smiled as Lily held it aloft. Say hello to my mother for me. A smile spread across his face. Lily brought the axe down. A soft orange glow spread across the campground as Lily stumbled out from the hall. The music from the speaker was still playing 80s hits, Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. That's when Lily saw her, a girl in a torn prom dress swaying alone, hair soaked in blood, a cracked crown on her head. Carrie Dell. Lily didn't move. Carrie raised her eyes. The whisper carried across the campground. Are you this year's last dancer? If you like what you heard, please like and share the video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.